Natalia Nunez.
Hello, how are you?
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let everybody know who you are.
Yeah, so my name is Natalia. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri originally. My parents are Peruvian. I am the founder of Kuyper, which is a wellness app, now an activewear company and a supplement company.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And how did we originally connect? Do you remember?
I think I followed you on social media. I saw like one of your videos or something, and then I don't know. I just like from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you came down one time and visited.
Yeah.
You were at a business conference,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I was at the Dave Asprey biohacking conference.
Yeah. And then we decided or you asked me to do a program for Kuyper.
Yes.
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 What made you want to have me do a program?
Well, I saw your episode on The Skinny Confidential and talking about lifting and talking about barbells and how like for women that is so essential, and I preach the same thing. But I think for women it's like, I don't know, it's super easy to be turned off from lifting in general, but especially like super heavy on barbells because there's the fear of looking too manly, getting bulky, all of these things. And just wanting to be toned and long and sculpted. But in reality, like you need to lift heavy to do those things. And I think the way that you communicated that was really well and really articulate, and people listen to you when you tell them that. And so I'm like, I need to do something with this man and get him on the app. Because I think it's so important, not just for aesthetic reasons, but like for longevity and for health and just to carry you throughout life. Having good muscle mass is so, so important.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
What is on your app? So you started Kuyper.
Yeah.
Why did you start Kuyper? And what do you have on your app?
So I started Kuyper for a few reasons. But the biggest thing being, like I said before, my parents are Peruvian. I'm Peruvian. And in the wellness space, I never really saw anyone that looked like me. Like it was just a bunch of skinny white chicks and eating chicken that didn't have a lot of seasoning, a lot of salads. And I grew up eating like beans and rice, lomo saltado, like all of these like really rich in flavor Peruvian foods. And in my mind, I'm like, I still want to eat these foods. I still want to eat my grandma's food and look good and feel good and like perform really, really well. But I don't necessarily want that super skinny aesthetic. Like I want to build my curves. I want to be strong and I want to like be athletic. And I didn't really see that represented anywhere. And so I wanted to create a space where not only could you see your own culture represented, but like you could learn about like hundreds of other cultures through like wellness and through food and through community. So that was really a big driving factor of the app. But I think also accessibility. Like I think I was a trainer at Equinox. And like a membership there is what, like $400 and
I don't know. Yeah, expensive though.
Crazy and a crazy amount like for personal training. And so like I really saw how like all of these things were being gatekept to like a certain like high income demographic, whereas I think it should be accessible to everyone. And so I wanted to create something that was easy. It was just in your pocket, $20 a month, that really anyone could have access to, and it's still going to get you all the results that you want without like all the fads and all of the yo-yos. And then also something that like you look at like different areas in the US, and a lot of neighborhoods of color don't have gyms. They don't have like supermarkets, period. Like there's a lot of just convenience stores, liquor stores, smoke shops. Like these types of resources aren't readily available. So bringing that to those communities was super key to me.
So when did you start this?
It's been in the works for like 5 years, but we launched October 2024.
And how old are you?
I just turned 22 last week.
So you started it when you were 17?
Yes.
18?
Yeah, 18.
That's one thing that's stood out about you to me is just how entrepreneurial you are.
Thank you.
Yeah. Extremely driven. So like if you're listening to this episode, this individual's very impressive what she's done. I mean, I train people in their mid-20s and mid-30s, and their lives are falling apart, and they can't figure out what to do. And I think you were telling me a little bit about some of this work ethic has come from how you grew up.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious if you could share your story growing up?
Yeah. So, like I said, my parents are Peruvian. And my dad particularly didn't have a lot growing up, and neither did we. Like we had it good enough to where we had a roof over our heads and food, and we went to a good school. But like there was no handouts. Like if we wanted something, like we had to go get a job and figure out how to go get it ourselves. And so that, like for me, that started at such a young age. I remember like me and my sisters were like 5, 6 years old, like selling candy outside of basketball games. They're just like doing little things. And so it was like our parents didn't just give us anything. And at the time, like I hated that because, like, of course, I saw all of my friends like getting new Lululemon jackets, or like the brand was like Iviva at the time, or like all of these little things. And of course, as a kid, you want to fit in with your classmates and with your peers. And I'm like I want this, I want this, and so I don't know. We had to just find a way to get those extra things, but also sometimes like the necessities too, if we wanted it. So we started working from a very young age. Doing like weird little entrepreneurial jobs. I was a janitor at Lifetime when I was like 14. I had a nail business. I did like custom like press on nails my senior year of high school and then into college. But I feel really, really blessed for that and for that perspective now looking back, because I think like we are so lucky as Americans to have that ability to like, you can start off with nothing and work your way up to be something regardless of where you come from, regardless of your background, like your socioeconomic status, whatever it is, like there's something you can do about your situation. And that's like what my parents really instilled into my brain, which I feel like insanely grateful for.
Yeah. So when you started the app, like what was the first like year or two? Like, were you just formulating the plan, or like what were like the first steps you were taking?
I was doing research on my own. I downloaded like every fitness app there was and like did the free trial and like was like on it like
Okay.
24/7 for like the 7-day free trial, and like making notes of everything I liked, the things I didn't like. And then I reached out to someone to help me build it. But it like initially did not start out as an app. I wanted to go to school to be a politician or a lawyer initially. And like my whole thing, like from the beginning, was like somehow like making the world a more equitable place. Because going back to my childhood, I saw like St. Louis. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, and it's an extremely divided city. There's a road called Del Mar. You go north of Del Mar, it's like 99% Black. The median household income is like $50K. You go south, it's like 88% white. Median household income is, I think, $150K. And there's a lot more crime on the north side, a lot more higher rates of chronic disease, diabetes, terrible schools. South side does not have those problems. And so I thought I was going to go into law or go into politics and then make an impact that way. But like working at Equinox and working as a trainer, I realized like health is the foundation of everything. And so in the beginning, when I was creating KALLPA, I thought, it was going to be like a network of like food pantries, and like we would be all across the US and like have like free like in-person training. But then I realized an app is much easier to start off with and
Sure.
requires less people. And it's more scalable than having like that on the ground work, which I do think is important. But I think from where I was, an app was the best way to start. So I downloaded all the apps, looked at what I liked, what I didn't like, and kind of like picked the features based off that.
Yeah. So you like tailored it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you launched, what, 3 years later, like you actually launched?
Yeah. I started 2021, launched 2024.
And then did you have people already on there? Or were they just programs you made?
It was programs I made. You're actually the first guest trainer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's just all you right now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you had a bunch of guest trainers.
I have like different models as like the cover image.
Okay.
And like the campaign we did last time was a bunch of my friends and just like kind of telling like their stories. And so a lot of people actually thought that they were trainers. I feel like the way I executed that was a
Yeah.
little bit confusing. But with that, like I just wanted to show like their culture, their individuality, like what made them unique and what wellness looks like to them. But right now it's just me. And then we'll have you in a few weeks.
Are you trying to find other trainers? Is that one of your
I have a
goals?
few, I have like 6 lined up who are going to launch throughout like the rest of this year and then 2026.
Can people apply somehow? Like, should they reach out
Yeah.
to you or how?
If you want to be a trainer, DM me, Kuyper.app, KALLPA.app on Instagram.
And again, what are you looking for? Like, what would you desire to have on the app?
Really anything. I want to have yoga, Pilates, strength, just like at home, follow along stuff that's accessible to everyone. My thing with trainers is I want people with a unique perspective who bring some sort of like culture and community to wellness, because I think that's a huge part of it. I don't think it's just about like the perfect optimized weightlifting routine and like the most optimized diet. Like you can follow that to a T, but if you don't have a sense of community and a sense of connection, like that's, to me, that's the biggest part. And scientifically too, like your community is the biggest indicator of your lifespan and your health span. Yeah.
I agree. Do you on the app have a community piece to it?
We do. We have a community chat. But the biggest thing that I do for a community is like the live in-person events. Because I think you can connect with people all day online, but you have to take it off the phone. Like you have to get together in person.
I love that because it's the combination. Because I don't think there's many apps that are actually doing events in person as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Form does some, but like not, I don't know.
Maybe they're starting to.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if there's like Heroic, right?
Yeah.
There's Ladder.
Yeah.
There's like a handful of others, right?
Mhm.
I don't think they do. I think it's very smart. And you've done, how many events have you done today?
We had our first event August 8th, 2025. And since then, it's been like 2 or 3 a week. So I want to say like 14, maybe. Yeah, I think 14 events, which has been a lot for sure. But it's been like so much fun. And with these events, one of the things that we've been doing, we're doing a college tour, but like the events that aren't with universities, we're doing like different themes from different cultures. So our last one was like a Latin night, and I made my grandma's lomo saltado. We had ceviche, we had these like chicken tacos, Spanish tortilla, really just as another way to help people like learn about culture, like through food and through connection. So that has been like one of my favorite parts of the events for sure.
That's super rad.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you plan the events? Because I've been watching you throw all these events. I'm like, this girl's working full time, going to school full time, and then running this, app, and then throwing events.
Yeah.
How is that possible? I don't understand. I literally don't understand.
I think Google Calendar is like my best friend. Like I have to like.
Are you super regimented?
Yeah, for the most part. And I think starting my day like the same way with movement really, really helps. Like for me, like that's my therapy. I grew up playing basketball, and I thought I was gonna be the first girl in the NBA, not the WNBA, the NBA. Like I thought I was like that girl, but that did not happen. But like I love to move and I love to sweat, and so I think starting my day with that is like such a key part, and then it just keeps me on track for the rest of the day. But I really think like recently I've learned it's about prioritizing that like self-care, meaning like sleep, nutrition, movement. Like for me, those are the biggest things that help keep me on track with everything else. But I think like it helps that I love what I do so much, and I'm like genuinely passionate about these events, about the app, about making this stuff accessible to everyone. So I think that keeps me going a lot. But you have to be organized. Like I have to be organized, and I have to have a set time for school, a set time for work, a set time for the app, for events, whatever it is.
Do you plan your week out on a certain day? Do you have a schedule for your schedule?
Kind of, yeah. Sunday is like my planning day.
Yeah?
Yeah. But I mean, in business, like stuff comes up, and like you have, like for me, it's a balance between like being super organized and being regimented, but also like being flexible, because if something comes up, you can't just say no because it wasn't in your calendar. Like, you have to take care of it. So it's a balance for sure, but yeah, I think being organized helps.
So you're the main person running it, you own it.
Yeah.
Do you have a team around you?
I don't have any full-time employees, but I work with a videographer named Ben. Shout out Ben if you're listening. And my friend Nia helps with like marketing and like setup for events in New York. But they're both based in New York. So when I'm traveling, like, it's really just me. And then my dad has come with me to a lot, which has been like so awesome to see. Because he really is like the most hardworking man that I know. Like, he is like my inspiration for everything, and having him there has been the best. So he helps with like setup and breakdown, and like he's taking photos and videos of me and all these sorority girls doing a workout. But
wow.
Yeah.
Is it, so if it's not him, is it just you setting up?
Yeah. And I mean, like with the university events, a lot of them are with like sororities or like a club. And so they have people like on the board who will like help me set up. But
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was one video where you went into a place and your logo's on the door and then it's on the checkout area. I'm like, is she setting that all up as well? How is she pulling this off?
Yeah, that honestly, like we just scotch tape and put that up.
Yeah?
Yeah, on the checkout. But that was a pop-up for like the launch of our activewear. And so I had, my friend Nia was there and she helped me set up, and then my friend Jorge helped me set up. But
so you're like, an app's not enough, I'm gonna launch activewear.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so tell me about the activewear.
Well, I feel like with activewear, for me personally, I was tired of it being insanely expensive and breaking down super easily. Like, what is the word in English? Where like the fabric like rubs, and it kind of
pills.
Yeah, like it kind of
gets the little fuzzy things on it.
Exactly.
Like falls apart, kind of.
Exactly.
What is it in Spanish?
I don't even know. I don't even know the word to describe it. But like like when your like legs like rub up against each other and it makes that weird texture.
Yeah.
I was tired of that, and like it never really fit me right. Like, I have a little bit bigger hips, and like I feel like my waist is a different size than my hips, and so I wanted something that, one, fit everyone, didn't break down like that, and like was squat proof, sweat proof, didn't show sweat stains. You could wear to the gym, move in it, but also like go to get a coffee in it. And I wanted it to tell a story. Like, that is such a big part, like for me and everything. It's like it has to like have meaning and tell a story and like have culture to it. So with this, like the technology that is within this fabric, like it's very sculpting, and there's like the butt scrunch, but like you can't see it when it's
not pronounced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like off body you can see it, but on body, like it just kind of sculpts everything really nice and fits all body types. And then the story for this first collection, it was called Suenos, which means dreams in Spanish. This one was like a tribute to the pursuit of the impossible dreams. I think for me, like I was told my whole life, like, moving to New York is crazy. Like, starting your own company is crazy. Like, you need to like go to school, like get a 9 to 5.
And you were going to go to business school, and you realized
I was going to go to law school.
Law school, yeah.
I was studying political science. And then I wanted to get my law degree, but I realized I took 2 political science classes, and I realized like how hard it is to make change within the system. And I kind of realized we are a capitalistic country. Like, in a capitalistic country, business is going to have a lot of impact on like social well-being and everything. So I can have more impact through having my own business than as like a congresswoman.
Totally.
Yeah. So that was kind of the switch for me, but like the goal still remained the same, is to, one, bring these resources to everyone and help kind of close these gaps between not just like different races, but different socioeconomic groups. What was I saying before? Oh, sueños.
Yeah.
Sueños. So that means dreams. And like I was saying, like all what I'm doing now was like seemed impossible. Like, it seems like a very pipe crazy dream that was meant for someone who was not me. Like I said, I didn't grow up with a lot of money, with a lot of connections in that type of household. And so I never really thought it was possible until I went to New York and I realized you can really do anything, regardless of who you are, where you come from, how much money you have. Your resourcefulness is like more important than the resources you have. And like I was saying before, I think that is a pretty uniquely American thing. Like, I think it's hard to do that in other contexts, in other cultures. And so with this collection, I wanted to show people that whatever you want to do, like if you think it's crazy, I mean, dream bigger. And that is possible if you put in the work, you don't view yourself as a victim, and you surround yourself with the right people. I think as a society, like we've kind of, I don't know, like we victimize ourselves a lot. And while like it may be true that your situation is unfair, you may not have it as good as the next woman or the next man. Like there's something you can do about it, and it may not be your fault where you are, but it is your responsibility to bring yourself out of that if you do want something different. If you don't, then I mean, stay in that position. But I think most people do.
Yeah, no one starts on an equal playing field.
No.
And even people that seem more privileged may not necessarily be more privileged.
Yeah.
Right? They may have mental problems, or just like, yeah, it's like, look at you, you're 22.
Yeah.
It's like, look what mindset and determination can do.
Yeah.
Where if you were to tell yourself it's not possible, and you were just focused on all the reasons you can't do it, you wouldn't be where you are.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just ignored all those things. And it's true, there's many things in everybody's lives have challenge. Like you could be in a wheelchair. Like there's so many things, you could come from a rich family, but then maybe you have no parents, or just all kinds of, or you got beat all the time. Like there's all kinds of stuff. Or you came from a poor family, but it was extremely loving and supportive. Is that worse or better than someone who was given everything, super spoiled, but their parents were never there? Like,
yeah.
I don't know, right?
Yeah. That's the thing, is I think people don't realize, I'm not allowed to cuss, right?
You can.
Okay. Like everyone has their shit. Like everyone has shit in their life. And people think that their situation is the worst situation in the world, and they tell themselves that narrative, and because they keep repeating that narrative to themselves, it keeps them stuck in this place. Whereas like everyone has something going on, and I think when you start to compare yourself to other people, and when you start to think about like, or tell yourself like, oh, this isn't fair, like I was just given the worst hand in the world, that is the worst thing you can do for yourself. Because you can have nothing in this country, have no money, have no parents, don't have a house, and you can still make something of yourself. And I think a lot of people need to realize that more.
It's probably because a lot of people don't travel.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you coming from somewhere else and having family probably in Peru, be able to see, right? And having parents that came here and understood the opportunity and worked hard and saw what they did, where I think a lot of people are just been spoiled through many generations and they don't realize it.
Yeah.
Right?
I think like as a country, like we are very US centric. Like we don't really have a global perspective. And that's another reason why like I wanted to start KALLPA and kind of bring the global perspective and understand like the global context in which you live, because it's so different. It's so different everywhere else. Yeah.
As you go, like get more trainers on, like where do you want to take KALLPA? Like what are like some of the next things you want to do? So guest trainers.
I want to take it international. I'm in the works with someone in London. And so hopefully like we can get there and then host more events overseas. But also like bring that culture back to the US. But again, like the ultimate goal for me is through KALLPA, like helping bring these resources, like fresh produce training, like one-on-one in-person training to people who don't have access to that, like just super easily.
Like a program or actual?
Like kind of what I was talking about.
Virtual training?
Like in person.
In person, okay.
Yeah. Like my ultimate goal, I think, is to like establish a network of people, like a nonprofit that only works in like food deserts and like fitness deserts where there's not a lot of gyms, not a lot of grocery stores, to help people like with training and to help people like create a plan for fitness, for food, for mindfulness, for meditation, for goal setting, all of that. Because I think like these issues of chronic disease do disproportionately affect low income people because there's just not as many resources available. So I think the ultimate goal is to kind of close that gap, because I do think, like, I believe in capitalism, but I don't think everything should be capitalistic. I don't think our healthcare system should be capitalistic. Like, I think that should be available to everyone. So helping people who may not have that access get that, I think, is the ultimate goal.
The interesting thing will be to figure out how you fund that. I think that's like the biggest puzzle piece. Like, how do you fund that? And I think that's also with like a lot of social programs. It's like, you want universal health care, but like, how do you fund it? So if you can figure that out,
that's why I think like businesses, like if you want to make a change, like have a business and make money. And then with that, like you can do good. And maybe it's not like a huge scale thing, but like even like working with like nonprofits that do that work, just like the nutrition and training side of it, I think is huge. But I think like if I can get Kuyper to a place where it's big enough that I can fund it through the money that I make from there, I think that would be.
Yeah, it'd be interesting actually if you went to El Salvador and interviewed how those programs they set up, like soccer fields for the kids, and they have to like read an hour, and then if they read an hour, they can play for an hour. It's like, it would be interesting if you could integrate, like, because if you give something away to people for free, no matter what, they just don't value it.
Yeah.
And so like, if there's a way, they don't need to give money, but is there a way that they give back to that place? Maybe there's like a garden or a kitchen or whatever. So then they also feel like they've earned it as well. And then it also is building more community because everyone's working together or doing specific things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then they'll value the place more.
I agree. Yeah.
And then that's kind of a cool ecosystem. It's like very synergistic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
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 I think it would also be really cool to focus on kids as well. Because I think if you can affect kids and their health, and you can change the course of their lives.
Yeah.
Sometimes adults are a little rough.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
You should still have help for adults, but kids, I think, really need a lot of help.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Access to be able to play.
Exactly.
Or else she's just going to get in trouble or do crazy shit.
Yeah.
Right? Any kid would.
Yeah.
If you didn't have anything to do.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, that's exciting. I'm excited to see where that goes. How did you make the connection in UK? Like, how did that come about?
So I studied abroad in Spain. And I went to this Pilates studio, like when I was in London for a class. And then I found her on Instagram. She like works at that studio, but like I didn't see her when I was there. And I loved her vibe. She does Pilates to, I don't want to say her name yet because it's not like official, but she does Pilates to like hip hop and rap and like reggaeton and Afro beats. And like, I think that's so awesome. I think there's not a lot of women of color who have created spaces like that. I think Pilates right now is very like Taylor Swift and like that type of vibe. And so I think it's cool that she's bringing in the other side of it.
It would be interesting if you added, like you could do a piece on the app where you kind of talk about what you just talked about. Like you did a mindset piece, right? Maybe it's not necessarily around business, but maybe it's about starting something, whether it's like, getting into a fitness program, or it is a business, or whatever it is, that mindset.
Yeah.
Right? Especially coming from you, where people are like, oh, she's experienced what I've experienced.
Yeah.
It's not somebody talking at me. It's like a psychologist.
Yeah.
Some like old white dude and bald, whatever. Right? And it's like, those are all theories, but I want somebody who's actually done it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And to have that like a mindset piece area would be, I think, really cool. Because then you could have even just a wider variety of people. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people in these communities that aren't in the fitness space, but maybe they're doing really cool things like speaking out to help those communities.
Yeah.
Right? Like gang, like affiliate guy, and he goes into certain neighborhoods. I know there's tons of those kinds of guys. Or, people that help build gardens in certain cities, like having those people on. I mean, you could even have, how do you even start your own garden?
Yeah.
Like in like a very small plot of land, and it's somebody that's doing it now in the inner cities.
Yeah.
Because I know I've come across seeing things like that, setting it up.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree. And that's like, so we have 5 pillars that I kind of like try to have like something for each of them: movement, nutrition, recovery and regeneration, community and mindset. Because I think that is so key. And I was actually thinking about that. We kind of talked about this before, but just like, I want to do like a podcast type situation. And it's in the works right now, hopefully coming out in January 2026, but where I interview just like random everyday people who have like done something with their lives. And even if that's just like raising kids, I think those perspectives are so fascinating. And they have so much, like, I almost feel that those perspectives are more impactful than like the talking head like scientist who like has all the facts and all the data. Like, yes, that's important, but I think to get through to the everyday person, like, you need an everyday average person, and you learn so much through just those conversations with people from, like, that was when I was abroad, like, that was my favorite thing, is I would travel every single weekend by myself to a different country or to a different city and just talk to random people, like, from all walks of life, because there's so much wisdom there. It just, regardless of what they do or who they are, I mean, I think you can learn so much from the average person about like not only like mindset, but like community and like values and nutrition and movement and sleep. But I think wellness is so much more than, like I said before, like having the most optimized fitness routine or diet. Like, it's about that mindset. It's about the community. But yeah, I think those perspectives are huge, and I want to incorporate like videos like that more into the app for sure.
So you want to put, mini episodes into the app.
Yeah. And they'll be like, I want to make them like free on like YouTube and Spotify, but kind of like a course almost in the app.
Yeah, that's cool. So it's like an overview, and then like, here's how step by step, like 5 little mini videos.
Yeah. Like right now we have like for the mindset aspect, we have like a little book club. So there's like different tabs for like different topics. So if, like sleep specifically, if you want books on sleep, or like self-development, or like whatever like the specific niche topic is, there's like 10 different books for it. So that's kind of how I'm covering it, but I feel like just like listing books isn't as interactive as like a video like that.
Yeah, people want like quick information.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly, yeah.
And then also you've been working with a breath coach, right? I think that would be amazing to have on there.
Yes, I'm trying to convince her. Natalia, her name is also Natalia. Natalia, if you see this, come on the app. But yeah, I agree. I think breathwork is so powerful, and I like never really dabbled into it until very recently. Because I grew up, like, my parents are super traditional. Like, put your head down and work, and like if you want something, you work hard, and that's it. Like, you don't have to sleep, just go work and you'll make it happen. And so I had that mindset, and like that was like my way of life for like the longest time. And they were like not the biggest fans of therapy, breath work, meditation, any of that. It was just they're just not really educated on it.
And probably in like their mindset is it's just a distraction.
Yeah.
Like probably where they're coming from is that's not going to help you survive.
Yeah.
And there sounds like they were in places like you don't get distracted on this stuff.
And I think it's like they see me living in the US and they see the problems that I'm dealing with, and like immediately it's compared to like life in Peru. Like my mom, I remember, she's gonna kill me if she's listening to this, but
she's for sure gonna listen to this.
She's for sure gonna listen to it. I told her like I was like anxious. Like we were talking about anxiety in school one day, and like I came home and I was like, Mom, I think like maybe I'm anxious. And she's like, you don't know what anxious is unless you're a single mother living in a third world country and you don't know how you're going to feed your kids the next day. Like that's anxiety. Like what these people are experiencing is not anxiety. Like it's made up. Like that was the mindset. Like mental health was not a thing because we were so blessed to be here and to have what we have. Like how could we have any like mental health things? But for breath work, I experienced something earlier in the year that was like physically, like I was like shaking, like vomiting, like I was just not well. And I stumbled upon her Instagram and I started working with her, and it completely changed my life, and like not just like recovering from that situation, but kind of how I handle all other things. Like if I am in a moment where there's just like so much going on, like the event, the clothing, like all of it, school is just a lot, like pausing and taking those breaths and like doing the different breath techniques for different things and like different needs. Like if you need an up-regulating one or like a down-regulating one, like there's different tools for that. And I was just so unaware until I started working with her. But she's awesome. She's like so awesome. And I think it's a very powerful thing that a lot of Americans just don't really fully understand. I think we hear like, okay, take a deep breath and like go handle it. But like we don't really understand all the intricacies and how powerful it can be.
I mean, breath work goes all the way back to the yogis, and the yogis, which is like yoga is not a religion. It's a system of like getting yourself to kind of experience truth, whatever that is for you. And in that, the first parts of yoga is just regulating the nervous system. So like the asanas, the physical postures, and then the breath work, the main thing with those is regulating the nervous system. It's creating balance in the nervous system. That's the point. So like some breaths, like you said, it can stimulate the sympathetic, it can stimulate the parasympathetic, it can slow the heart, raise the heart. I mean, they've done studies on monks and, yogis of like how they can slow their brain waves to the point where it's like they're not even alive, and change those things. And those are very applicable in daily life. I mean, Navy SEALs use several different breathing techniques to help themselves control in like a very intense situations when their nervous system's going off. So it's very powerful. Do you have a certain breathwork technique that is like your main anchor?
I start every morning with, it's called Breath of Fire. And that like really, I think starting with that, like before I'm on my phone, before I do anything, really helps. And then from there I drop into meditation. And so I think
Is the breath of fire, are you doing through the nose or are you doing through the mouth?
in through the nose, out through the mouth.
Just in fast, in out, in out, in out. Oh, interesting. In through the nose, out through the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Wim Hof does it through the mouth only.
Okay.
And the yogis do it only through the nose. There's different ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's one that it's like, I forget what it's called, but in through the nose, like super fast, like, and that one is really, really helpful as well. But I like even just a slower exhale, inhaling through the nose and then a slower exhale through the mouth is like one I always go back to for like if I'm feeling like overwhelmed or stressed, like that calms, it forces the nervous system to calm down and put it in the rest and digest. So I think that's a great.
Yeah, your breathing is a direct connection to your autonomic nervous system. So like if you control your breath and you continue to so by lengthening the exhales over time, you're telling the nervous system to flip over into the parasympathetic, right? And if you breathe fast enough times, you switch into the sympathetic, fast, right? So you do breath. What is your meditation you do?
So we started with body scans, or we started with like guided meditations through, do you know the Open app?
Open, no.
It's like a meditation and breathwork app. I like highly recommend it. But we started with guided meditations through there, and then we went into like body scans. And it's still like I still personally like start off with like doing a body scan, just like thinking in my brain, like moving all the way down, all the way up. But that kind of leads to just like other thoughts. Yeah, for me it's still a challenge because my mind is Like I feel like I'm always thinking about like a million things. So to just sit and try to like let those thoughts pass without giving them weight or without holding on to them or thinking they're bad or good is still very difficult, and I've been doing it for a few months. But I think it takes time to get to that point.
Yeah, meditation is going to be a forever practice.
Yeah,
Your
definitely.
main thing is like you can't get it wrong or right. You're just giving yourself a point of focus and then allowing yourself to be aware of feelings or thoughts, and that allows you to like process emotions by just to give it space.
Mm-hmm.
And then over time, you can start to be able to just separate yourself from it. But it's understandable because you're so busy. So there's only so much.
Yeah.
You know, if you have so much going on most of the day and you only have 5 minutes of meditation, it's like it's going to take a little more time, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very exciting. What's next for Kuyper?
So
When are we launching this thing?
November 1st.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe.
Hopefully this is out by then. No.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll come out on November 1st.
Yeah. That would be good.
Okay, it's out.
Today's launch day.
Yeah.
November 1st, ideally, after Halloween.
After that Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that November 1st?
I don't know. Monday of November.
After Halloween.
I don't think so. I think it's that's the 3rd.
The 3rd. So wait, I'm going to look at this really quick.
I think Halloween's Friday. So the
Halloween
1st would be
is Friday.
Saturday.
We're launching November 3rd.
Yes.
November 3rd, yes. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the program and like what it is, why we're doing it, and what results people are going to get?
Yeah, so a while ago I made an introduction to strength training called Living Lean. And that program was very successful. I designed it in a way, it was 3 months, 12 weeks, and every 4 weeks it would change. And it was only dumbbells because I wanted people to just be able to do it at home. I mean, that's how I started training. Just had a bench, some dumbbells, and dumbbells are so easy to get. You can go on Facebook Marketplace, offer up. Sometimes people are giving them away. They just don't want them. And usually as a female, you don't really need a ton of them yet. But I wanted to teach, the point of it was to teach the fundamentals of strength training, which a lot of people don't understand. They go to boot camps or classes and they work hard and they're sore and they associate that with that's a good workout. But that's not really what creates change. So especially for females, if you really want to change your body, the first layer is getting stronger because that's what's going to help you build muscle, because it's very challenging to build muscle, actually. You may be doing all these other workouts and you're inflamed and maybe you're overeating and you're like, oh, I'm getting bigger. That has nothing to do with, you haven't put on any muscle. And so it was teaching every 4 weeks, slowly increasing the weight and how to do that. And you could repeat that program several times. I've had people reach out and they've repeated that program for a year because you can reset. So every time you did the 12 weeks, whatever you left off on week 4 of the 4 weeks, you could start back at week 1 with that weight and then progress it again. And that works well because you don't really need to change your exercises very often. You want to stick to the fundamentals. And that's how you get stronger. By changing it too much and all the time, you can't continually add weight or reps or do progressive overload. So a lot of people ran through that, and I kept it basic because throwing a barbell at somebody who doesn't even have a foundation of strength is going to be too hard with body awareness. Like there's going to be too much going on trying to put a bar on your back and squat, as well as when it starts to get hard to even have the base of strength and body awareness to be able to handle getting anything really out of it, right? And the thing with dumbbells is you could just lift dumbbells your whole life. You may not get as strong, but that's a good place to begin for anybody before they jump into the barbells. Now you can jump into barbells. Like if you've lifted in the past and you haven't been lifting for a while and you want to do this program, you can totally do it, just be mindful, right? So this program is 12 weeks long because the whole goal was to get people to a base of strength so that they are ready to start lifting with a barbell, because you're going to eventually plateau with the dumbbells you can use. You're not going to be holding 50s in each hand when you're doing lunges. There's no way you can hold them while you're doing squats. Eventually trying to lay back on a bench doing chest press or rows, it's going to be very difficult just holding the dumbbells. So now you're at a level where you have a really good base of strength and you are going to move to barbells. Or maybe you haven't followed my program, but you've been lifting for a while, or you have been doing machines, but you don't really feel like you're progressing and really want to understand how to use barbells and progress. So it's 12 weeks and there's 3 days a week. The first 2 movements are going to be barbell movements. And I went back and forth between this. One thing in the fitness world is females I've come across love the programs to change often.
Mm-hmm. Gotta keep it interesting.
And I was going to do that, but I didn't do it. So for the 12 weeks, the barbells movements are the exact same. Now, every 4 weeks, the accessory stuff, the dumbbell movements, those all change to create variety. But the reason is, if I change those barbell movements have much more, they require much more technique and development over time, just like shooting a free throw or a golf swing or a tennis racket. If I had you swing a tennis racket and then all of a sudden and then another 4 weeks, it's golfing, and another 4 weeks, it's, serving a volleyball, it's going to like mess with your head. Like, the more you can groove the pattern, the better. And so you're just going to do a linear progression over time, going from higher reps, higher weight, and slowly progress the whole time. And so by the time you get to the end of that, you're going to be ridiculously strong. And it's mostly focused on the lower body. So they're mostly lower body movements. So to develop the legs. The accessory movements, the dumbbell stuff afterwards, is a mix of lower body and upper body. So you still have strength in your upper body, but most females I've trained don't want to push like super heavy weights with their upper body. They can, and you could take some of the movements out if you wanted to swap out. Because there's 3 days a week, 2 barbell movements, and they're all mostly lower body. If you wanted to pull one of those out and throw in a bench on one day and then like a row on a one day, that's totally fine. And then just follow the same progression if that's something you want to do, or a pull up or a dip, something you can progress on long term. And so the program is, I'm trying to educate people as well as get them stronger. So it's like, going through this, there may be a lot of times where it's confusing, it's challenging, but that's good. You're going to learn a lot just trying to go through it. And again, you can repeat it. You can start back over and start at a higher weight than you first started at, and then progress it again. And you can run the program for an entire year, just keep repeating it. I added some cardio in there, and the cardio is much different than like the first program. I wanted to keep it very simple. It was just walking with a weighted vest. This is going to, first month, work on building aerobic base. Second month is like increasing that aerobic VO2. And then you have sprint work in that last month. So this is a challenging program. Like, it's going to take focus. You need to you need to go over the program. You need to plan it out. I'm going to do a whole episode explaining all this stuff, so we don't have to spend all this time on it. But when you do this program, you really want to commit to just doing this. I would really cut out anything else for this period of time. I wouldn't
no classes.
Like, whatever is in this, that's priority. You can do something else, but if it takes away and it starts to stop you from getting these things in because you're tired or you're too sore or whatever, you're not going to get everything out of it, right? The program will only give you results if you follow the program, not a mix of what you want to do and some of this, and then it's not the program, right? So if you're wanting to, especially if you focus on good nutrition, you're in a caloric deficit, you're going to get strong, you're going to get toned, and you're going to become proficient at understanding how to lift, and you're going to experience what a lot of women who I train, that no matter what, so it's like, no matter what, when somebody comes to me, like a girl asked me the other day, she's like, what's the difference between, she came in with her husband and she does solid core and she does it 5 days a week and she must be like 31. She's like, my body's just not really changing anymore. And she's like lean, but skinny fat. So it's like, she's skinny. She's like, her shape, a lot of girls would be like, oh, I want to look like that. But then you can tell there's no muscle.
Yeah.
And I was trying to explain that lifting, like solid core is hard. And yeah, you push to failure. But what helps you build muscle is the load and progressing the load over time. Where in a lot of classes, you're just doing more reps or more time under tension. And yes, it's hard, but that's not actually developing strength. And in order to build that muscle, you have to get stronger. And even as I'm explaining this, probably everyone's listening, females, they're like, I don't know what he's talking about. But once you go through it, like all people that come in, and as they go through it and they get through month 2, month 3, it clicks.
Yeah.
Like they see their body change, but not only that, how they feel. It's extremely empowering and it builds their self-confidence in such an amazing way, right? And then once you have that base of strength, say you go through this program, you could back down to just, I'm going to follow the program, but I'm going to do 2 days a week and I'll throw in, reformer and like some yoga. Like you can start to mix it up.
Yeah.
But if you want to make real progress with your body, you need to gain a good amount of strength. But doesn't mean you have to do it forever. Just dedicate that 3 months and just see what you can do.
Yeah.
Right? And develop that.
And so nutritionally, how would you recommend going about nutrition with this program? If your goal, if your goal is weight loss for one, and then if your goal is to grow the legs or to grow a certain body part, how would you go about it?
I mean, the first thing is what I always say to people, just start lifting. As you're lifting, because if you're not really doing, let's say you're not doing really much like now, or you're only doing Pilates and yoga and running, just start lifting and then focus on hitting your protein number somewhere around like your lean muscle mass to around your body weight. Doesn't have to be exact. Try to hit that protein number. And then as you get like 3-4 weeks in, then make another change, right? I mean, if you can cut out alcohol, obviously it's going to be super beneficial. Anybody who continues to drink all the time, it just slows. It's just like putting your foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. But I get it. Some people drink. So see if you can start to reduce that. And over time, see if you can get it to the point where ideally you don't drink at all, or it's very rare, especially when you're on the program. And you just tackle one thing at a time. And the reason I say wait before you make a bunch of nutrition changes is because when you go to train, your body's going to reflect to you how you're eating. Are you going to be like, sometimes people start to show up week 2 or 3 with me, all of a sudden they start to bonk in the beginning of the workout. And before they were like, I can't eat in the morning. I'm like, okay, well, now we know that you probably need to eat more the day before. So now you're more aware. And so you're like, okay. And so you start to think about how the foods you're eating affect your training. And if your training is going well and you feel strong and you have energy and you're sleeping well, everything's going well. If it's not, you have to figure out, like if you're exhausted, if it's not sleep, then it means you're probably too low in calories. If you're trying to focus on gaining like muscle and change your leg size, if your numbers are going up, you're hitting your protein, you're going to put on muscle. But if you're really struggling to get stronger, like for some reason, your numbers aren't going up or you start to decline, you're probably not eating enough. That's like your training is a good barometer of what is happening outside the gym. It's telling you how your sleep is. It's telling you about how you're eating, right? So the main thing is get your protein number, start training, and then start tweaking things based on that, right? And you can kind of go from there. If you want to like really hyper focus, go get a DEXA scan before you start the program, and then go get a DEXA scan 3 months later, DEXA scans are like $30 now. Most, like if you find like a DEXA scan place, it's not hard. And then in some ways, just don't actually focus on your body, even though if you're wanting to change your body, because they notice with a lot of women, they'll start to hyper fixate on all the things that they don't like about themselves. And then one day they'll feel bloated, and then they'll like have some weird image of themselves. They think they're getting fat, and they're like, oh no, the program's making me big, or I'm getting too big, or whatever. And it's like, no, just that's just like one moment in time. And so I like people to just focus on how you're starting to feel in your clothes. But you got it, like, you're not going to really feel different probably in your body, like in clothes, till like week 6, 7, 8. Even though lots of stuff is changing, it takes that amount of time.
Yeah.
Right? It takes time. I mean, if you were going to do like a 6-week intense boot camp, yeah, you'll probably lose 20 pounds, but you'll gain all that back and have less strength and like lost a lot of muscle. With training, it takes time, but when you're stronger and you've built that muscle, that's very hard to go away.
Yeah.
And so I think it's almost like put blinders on. Don't think about your body. Stop trying to look at yourself all the time. Just focus on progress in the program. Just know, if I do the program and I'm improving every time, then I'm on the right path, and that's it. And then outside of that, dial in everything else. So that gets even better. Your nutrition. For nutrition, like a specific diet and all that stuff, that's up to you. You know, eat real whole foods, right? Eat what is exciting to you. I don't like, it's like with you're saying with, you know, you want to eat the foods that you grew up on. I think that's important. Figure out what you actually like to eat, because you want to make it sustainable. You want to enjoy it, right? Because if you all of a sudden, and like people are like, should I eat Whole30? Should I go carnivore? It's like, dude, that's never going to last.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to make a slight tweak. So like, say someone's eating whatever their culture of food, say it's like Indian, you know, okay, what is the thing that probably has the most calories? And you're trying to lose weight. You're like, okay, it's probably this, like, you know, if you're having desserts, slightly cut that out, right? Or make little changes where you don't have so many of the carbohydrates in the dish.
Yeah.
You like
More
have more food, or you go towards more foods that have a little less fat content in the meat. Like, you just start to tweak those things so slightly, you don't even notice it, right?
Yeah, like the portion sizes, I think, are the biggest thing. And I think, like, for me personally, this is embarrassing, but I used to be the person who would pull up to the Peruvian parties with my like unseasoned chicken perfectly weighed out and my sweet potatoes, and like my grandma would be like, do you hate me? Like, do you hate my cooking? Like, what are you doing? Like, and truly, like, it is so much better for your health. Like,
I think every trainer goes through that.
Yeah, everyone. You have to. It's rite of passage.
It's the trainer.
Exactly.
Way, yeah, every trainer does the bodybuilding diet.
Exactly. I think you have to, I don't know. Like me, I tried everything. Like I did carnivore. I was vegan for a little bit. I did like all of the diets, and then like exercise too, like HIIT, Pilates, like lifting. Like I tried everything. And I think from that, like you learn a lot. But I think like going back to like eating your culture's food, like it is so much better to just be with the people you love and just eat the food that's there. But be mindful about how much you're eating, the pace in which you're eating. I think that has a huge impact too. Like eat slower. That's going to help you control the calories a little bit more. But really, like, I think when you start to restrict yourself and when you start to tell yourself, no, I can't go to this function or can't go to this outing because they're going to have all of these foods. That's when like if you tell your mind, like, this is completely off limits, you're going to want that even more. And if you cut off everything all at once, like, that is just a recipe from all of my clients whenever they have tried to do that. Like, it never works. It never works. Like, it's little by little, and it's making those little tweaks, I think, is the biggest thing.
Yeah, anytime someone wants to do an extreme thing, it's a gut reaction to them being like undisciplined. Like, it's always the client that comes to me that will not implement the simplest changes continues to eat whatever they want, eat out, and then they get to a place where they're so uncomfortable that they go, I'm going to do, no carbs for 30 days.
Yeah.
And it never lasts.
Yeah.
And then it's just every month it's a new thing, and it's just this cycle. Versus the other person that's just like, oh, I'm just going to eat an extra apple a day. And that person is now way further ahead because they slowly made changes over time, right? So you don't want this all or none thinking.
It never works. It never works. I always tell my people, like, it's really not about cutting things out. Like, I always like to start with adding in the good things. If you're not eating any protein, like, okay, we're going to add in some good, like, either if they're plant-based protein, animal-based protein, whatever it is, add in some, like, fruits and veggies, like, add in the good stuff, and, like, that will naturally kind of push out, like, the bad stuff, the stuff that isn't as...
Yeah, I agree. Because you can start cutting things out, but if you're not feeding yourself well to have energy and feel good digestion, good skin. I mean, if you eat a good amount of fruits and vegetables, like, your skin's going to look better. You're going to have less bloat. But if you just starve yourself and then now you're not eating anything and you're just trying to avoid stuff all the time. And now you can't train hard. It's like a good way to think about nutrition is I want to eat healthy and in an abundant way that allows me to train hard. Because if I keep getting stronger and train hard, you just become a calorie burning machine, right? Especially with lifting weights. The more strength you gain, your engine is able to burn so much more fuel, right? And then it's just a simple tweaking of a little less or a little more to get your body to go up in muscle or lean out a little more, right? Again, that's why I say in the beginning, just lift and then tweak things so you can lift and feel good. And then over time, start tweaking things down the road.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Kuyper, what does that name mean?
So it's an Incan word. It's in their language, Quechua. But do you know, like, in Catholicism, how, like, we're taught about, like, we're made in the image and likeness of God. Like, all humans have, like, some sort of divinity in us. That was kind of like their way of expressing the same thing. Like, it was that thing inside of us, like this, like, life force, this strength, this divinity that not only do humans have, but animals have, plants have, the mountains have, like, the sun, the moon, the water. All natural things have this, like, divine life force in us. And so for me, like, this app and this, like, it's a Kuyper wellness method, like, this method, which is really just returning back to the basics, like moving your body, eating good food, resting, being with people, and, like, having a strong disciplined mindset. Like, that is all to reconnect you with that thing. Because I think as a society, as a culture, and globally, like, we are being pulled further and further away from that with technology. With, like, most of us, we drive to work, we sit for 8 hours staring at a screen, then we drive home, stare at another screen, watch Netflix, scroll on TikTok, and, like, that's it. And so all of these, like, different lifestyle factors are pulling us further away from that. And so for me, it's really about reconnecting, like, with that thing, and realizing, like, through that, like, we're all connected. Like, that's what they believed, is, like, we are all, like, part of one big thing. And I think in the US, and I learned this from traveling, which is such a privilege and, like, something that I recognize not everyone has the opportunity to do, but here we're so individualistic. And I was living in Spain, and there, like, everything is community based. Like, family is over everything. Like, the whole country goes home at lunch to have lunch with their family. Like, that is, like, the number one value. Whereas here it's, like, all about, like, how much money can I make? Like, how much can I do as an individual? Like, how can I make my name, like, as one? But I think we do need to get back to like that community centered value. I think we've lost that. And so really that's what I'm trying to do with Kuyper, is kind of bring these, like, ancestral, like, wisdoms and teachings and mindset that, like, that's what humans are made to do. Like, we're meant to, like, be in a natural environment with people we care about, with, like, real food, moving our bodies, resting. And so for me, that's really what it's about. And I'm Peruvian, and it's a Peruvian word, so it fit.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
It'll be interesting to see what happens over the next 5 years for you,
Yeah,
because I think this is going to go so much further than fitness.
definitely.
And with your ability to just get stuff done, and once you don't have school, I don't know what you're going to create. You'll have so much time.
Yeah.
It'll be wild. And I think, I think like that last piece you said, because it sounds like the big intention is that piece, the overall connectivity to all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you were telling me you were you're thinking about going down to Peru in the summer to maybe cook.
Yeah, there's like an internship. It's a nutrition internship with a school in Cusco. So doing like nutrition essentially for like students and like students who may be sick, helping them recover through like food and through natural remedies.
Yeah, and that's like right by the Sacred Valley. And
Yeah.
so that's going to be, I think, a huge influence on you. And how cool that, that's your people and you get to be. I mean, the culture and the history and also, yeah, what would you call it? They're like religious beliefs.
The Incas?
Yeah, is so beautiful and detailed and deeply connected to nature. And you'll have so many, I mean, if one of your goals is to interview people and have their wisdom, that is a place where there is a lot of wisdom you could capture and bring to the app and do episodes on, and also just your own development of learning about how they're, staying connected to that. Because I think that's a huge piece of health too, that, like you're saying, is it's not, you can like take all the supplements, do all the workouts, but nature is one of the most healing things, as well as community. And you can't buy that.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You have to, it's a philosophy you kind of have to learn. And I think it's kind of shifting. I've been seeing a lot of different friends have been sending me lots of different Instagrams of people building these ranches where they're like wellness ranches and resorts, and people moving to like land, but then building businesses on it and people coming. So I think more and more people are gravitating towards that. And you're seeing a lot more of these, a lot of people are sending me these wellness clubs. I think alcohol is like a 9-year low in sales. And these places where there's saunas, but also music, and people want to connect and socialize. So it's coming more and more, right?
Definitely. And that's like with like the college tour. I don't think I talked about this too much, but we're doing a university tour with like 16 different schools. And I think like with that alcohol stat, like people my age aren't drinking as much. And I think because of that, like we are like the loneliest generation in a long time, and like the most anxious generation and the most depressed generation. I think a lot of that stems from not having community. So like with these college events, we're doing a workout, like facials, massages, like just like cute little things and mocktails and having little appetizers. But really like to bring people together to do something good for themselves, like, or something that like makes you feel good afterwards. You don't have that hangover that like going out to a club might give you. But I think that's going to be huge. And I think that's the next wave of things. I don't think it's talked about as much though, because it's not like supplements, workout programs, like these biohacking gadgets, like the trackers or whatever, like that, like you can sell that and like it's profitable. And like I was like, this is a capitalistic country. Like that's these companies' goal is to profit. So of course they're going to keep going back to that. But I don't know. I think if more spaces like that need to be created, like just for the sake of building community and getting in nature and just like disconnecting from all the madness that's out here, because there's a lot. There's a lot of madness.
Well, Natalia,
Brent,
thanks for coming and hanging out, and
thank you for having me.
Yeah, sharing your business and your story and all that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, one more time, trainers or anybody interested in being on the app or even collaborating or helping you host events or loves your vision and wants to help support.
Yeah. you can DM Kuyper, which is KALLPA .app on Instagram. And then I would love to give your people a discount code for Activewear too.
Oh, cool.
Let's do Bodies by Brent 25 for 25% off any Activewear, and for the app we drop on November 3rd. So y'all can get his program and get a little discount too. And there's lots of, when you do purchase that program, there's lots of other programs that you get with that. You get nutrition, you get recipes from like over like 100 countries. We have recipes from habit trackers. You can track all your reps, track all your weights for his program. And then we have our Pilates trainer who will be coming on pretty soon. And then all my other programs on there. And the mindset stuff, community stuff is all on the app and included with that program.
Yeah, I'm pumped. And that's what everybody was requesting from the last program, because I just made it as a PDF.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's going to be so much easier, especially with barbell stuff. You're not going to have to worry about writing it down, recording it. It's just going to be taken care of. And
you'll have the video demonstration, you'll have a written description, and then you'll be able to see like your progress over time. Like it'll produce like a nice graph for you, so you can see like, okay, you started at this weight and now you're lifting this much weight. And if you want to track like your muscle mass, if you do a DEXA, like you have those stats, like you can track all of that and see how that progresses as well.
Does it automatically update for your next workout what you should lift? Does it like add?
Yeah, it gives you a suggestion, but like, again, I mean, this is your program, so you correct me if I'm wrong, but I always say like, see how it feels and like get to that rep range. And like, I like to base it off the certain RPE.
Okay.
But yeah, it'll give you a suggestion based off your last session and how much you were lifting for the certain lift.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Adios.
Ciao.